everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today at Home with Kayla Price. In this video, I wanted to share with you my top 10 most useful items around the house. So this obviously will change from time to time. I've actually, since I wrote the outline for the video, I have changed some of my preferences or some of my top 10s, but some things are universal and have been around forever. And I think I'm probably going to start with the age of these items that have been on my top list, if that makes sense. So my very most useful item around the house for the longest amount of time has been old rags. It's what we've always called them at the house. They're just old kind of washcloths and towels that are worn out, decommissioned, not kept in the linen closet, but rather in the rag drawer. And we use them for everything. I keep one in my car just because you never know when the mailbox is gonna drip on you, or there's a bug in the car or a spill in the car. It's just great to have an old towel in the car with you. It's also great if you have to roll down your window and the rain is misting in or something, just a good way to clean up. Sometimes the windows get fogged up in the car, good way to clear that up. But then they're also just great everywhere around the house. We keep one by the front door so that when Archie comes in, if he has dirty paws or wet paws, we can dry it off real quick. If a toilet leaks, we run for old towels. If we're putting paint down, we put old towels underneath that. So I don't know, it was funny because when I got my first house, my Aunt Pinky mailed me a box of old rags and towels. And at first I just didn't get it, but it was really quickly that I learned the importance of old towels. When you have all brand new towels, you don't want to clean your shoes with them, so it's good to have old towels. So anyway, I've gone on long enough about old towels, but they are indispensable. If you've thrown these away in the past, I'm freeing you up to keep some on hand because you need them. Whether you know you need them or not, you need them. They're also a good thing to pass on to like the dog pound or places like that. They're always in need of soft, clean, absorbent things such as old cloths and towels. So don't ever throw them away. Think of other uses you can use for them. Next on my list, another oldie but goodie, and I am so old that I don't remember plastic grocery bags being in my life as a young person. I think everything was a paper bag. But these things are so useful to have around the house. Again, I always travel with one in case there's a spill or accident, or you buy something that might spill and you want to wrap it up securely to bring it home in your luggage. Or like if you're seashells, put them in a grocery bag, plastic grocery bag. You can tie them up and hopefully keep sand out of everything. I keep one in my car. And then around the house, they're good for everything. If I have a can of paint open, you can tell I've been doing lots of little projects, but put this around your paint can and then just pull it up, and it'll contain some of the drips and spills and splatters. And anyway, I also use them as a trash bag in my bathrooms in the little bitty trash cans because they're free. I already have them. It would be a shame to throw these away and then go buy new pretty bags to put in the bathroom again just to be thrown away. And the reason it's a shame, it's obviously literally just throwing money away, but it also, you're putting stuff in the landfill if you throw these away that could be used for other things. My mother was amazing at what all she could figure out to do with, as she called it, a Walmart bag, but a plastic grocery bag. And I actually have a blog post that I will link below. I don't remember how many uses I came up with. I think it was 101 uses for a Walmart bag, but they're really a good thing to have around and keep handy. And of course, you've already paid for them with your groceries, so you might as well use them. Okay, I've kind of gotten out of order, so these next things are just going to blend. Well, this probably would be the next oldest, and it is just, this is an old bag of 10 Echo bamboo skewers. 80 bamboo skewers. They're 10 inches each. And the reason I mentioned these is I keep them around and they are great for cleaning. This is just one that I have been cleaning in little crevices because they're wooden. They're not as hard on pots and pans. If you have to get a little stuck on something off, they can be used, like yesterday in the fireplace, we were having to push a little button. Something like this is great for doing it because it's not going to push the button so hard that it breaks the button, but it also is still tiny and can get to those tiny buttons. I just love toothpicks, but in particular these long bamboo skewers are so great for so many different things. So another thing that is very, very useful for me around the house. The next thing is really, really, really good lighting and flashlights. And the brighter, the better I find. And the larger the area that is illuminated, that's also a good thing. Again, working in the fireplace yesterday, it's dark, it's not bright, there are no spotlights in the actual fire part of the fireplace, so we were using this little doodad, not on our heads, but just setting beside, because it is very bright. It does give a big field of illumination, and you know, these things aren't very expensive. It is important, you've always got to keep the batteries up to date in your flashlights, but not only are they good for running outside or when the lights go out in emergency, they're just really good every day. And the older I get, it's harder to see in dark spaces, it seems, or maybe I just don't see in any spaces well. So really good lighting is so important. And another one, I didn't bring mine in, but I can put a picture on the screen. OttLights, OTT. They are a true color type lighting. They're really great for sewing, and it just provides great illumination in a true color. It doesn't turn things yellow or purple, but the great thing about OttLights, I have little ones that are portable, but they're also more like floor lamp size or desk, and they give large fields of illumination. So if you don't have any good lights, I would definitely invest in those. Just, you never know when you're gonna need them in a small space. So they are definitely useful everywhere around the house. The next thing, my love of absorbent coasters. These are a couple examples. I used to buy these, I believe, on Amazon or Walmart, I don't remember. They came in a set of 6, I believe, and in a wooden container to keep them in. So those are great, handy dandy. They haven't worn as well. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but just things touching them has, you know, kind of grayed the top part. So these are my new favorites. They come from Amazon. I believe they come in a set of 6, and I've shown you my secrets before on how to get some really good deals on these things. But this is a print of marble. It is not real marble. If you remember, marble doesn't absorb quickly enough. So the only good coaster is going to be the sandy absorbent ceramic type, if that makes sense. So these are my absolute favorite, but one of the ladies that helps me here around the house, she gave me these a couple of Christmases ago, and I absolutely love them and leave them out all year round, but it's the same thing. It's a really nice absorbent coaster. All of these have cork backings so that you're not doing any damage to your furniture on the reverse side, but things like this, you never know. I love to put not only coasters for a hot drink or a cold drink that sweats, but I also love to put floral arrangements on a coaster. If I have, it can be used as a trivet. There's just so many things you can do with these. It doesn't have to be moisture related or heat related. It can be scratching if you're afraid something's gonna scratch your tabletop or countertop. They're just great to have, and they're not expensive, much cheaper than having to have a piece of furniture re-varnished or refinished. That would be the word. So anyway, invest in great absorbent coasters, not pretty coasters, because a brass coaster isn't going to do anything but collect the water on top and then let it roll off the side. Same thing with a marble coaster or a plastic lucite type coaster. They're pretty, they may go with your decor, but they are not useful as a coaster. They are just chips of pretty sitting around your house that you wasted money on. Another great thing to have on hand is a boot jack. This is my dad's old boot jack. Now, my dad had some that were purchased. This is more of a purchase type. You could hang it with this little suede tab, or he also had one, maybe more, that were homemade. Just a block of wood, a little bit of something grippy to take off, and then just something to give it a slant. And so if it's sitting on the floor like this, you put one foot here to hold it down, and then the foot that you're trying to take the boot off goes in here, and this grips the boot, and you can pull your foot out of it. And let me tell you, the older we get, the more important these things are. Of course, my daddy wore cowboy boots, but I use these for cowboy boots, rain boots, any kind of boots that's pull on, or even after you've unzipped a boot, if you're having trouble getting it off and nobody's around, a boot jack is so good to have. So whether you're in the city or in the country, you're gonna be wearing rain boots or snow boots or some kind of boot. So think about this. You might find it more useful than you ever imagined. I keep a boot jack at the front of the house, at the front door, and I keep one at the back door, and I probably should keep one at the door going out to the courtyard, just because you never know. You don't want to wear dirty boots around the house to find it, so you've got to have it by the door so you can get dirty boots off right when you need to get them off. Of course, if they're clean boots, it doesn't matter. You can keep one in your closet, but a lot around here, I am in the country, often they are dirty boots. Okay, some more important items, and these are more newer loves of mine, and that would be plastic scrapers. And my original favorite was this kind from Pampered Chef. I believe I got it on Amazon, and as always, I'll provide links for whatever I can find down below, or at least list what it is so you can search for it. But this Pampered Chef scraper, it is plastic. It's got a pointy corner all the way to a large angle corner. And these are great for using on stuck on food items also, but they're also good for getting a label off of a new glass or plate or whatever it might be, box, if you are returning something and trying to get labels off. They're great for that. But after I discovered the Pampered Chef ones, I think they came in a pack of 3, and I have some in the kitchen, some in the laundry room. I just keep them here, there, and everywhere. I got this at the Container Store, and I love it also. It is by Joie, Joie. I looked on Amazon for it because I wanted to order some more, and I couldn't find it, but I will list it below, just in case you can find it at Container Store or someplace local. It is a little more hard plastic, and the great thing is it has this grippy section, so if you're having trouble gripping this, then you can always grip this, and of course you can hang it by that too. I keep this one by my kitchen sink because again, it is great for baked on stuff or scraping off dripped candle wax or whatever it might be. It's just so good and convenient to have scrapers. So my cadre of these things that I keep available are these two plus this one. And I am pretty darn sure that I got this either on Amazon or Lowe's, and I believe it is supposed to be for removing grout. So same thing, it gives you a little bit of a slant to get under sticky items and to help remove them. Of course, this one being longer, you can get a little more leverage to it, I guess, and you've got some different angles and things there. So every now and then, if I've tried these two scrapers and they're not working, then I might go for this one. And I have used it for caulking when trying to recaulk a shower, that sort of deal. And then I had this one that was just around the house, and it was like a freebie product for a jewelry store, and it is Little Chiseler, patent pending, made in the USA. I don't know if these are still made, but again, gives you lots of different angles. It gives you that smaller point so you can really get under things. I just find a good plastic scraper indispensable for a multitude of little projects around the house. And as you know, I've mentioned before my little multi-purpose key that I keep in my pocket and just use around the house that can be used for screwing in loose screws or whatever it may be. And then three more items I want to share. Okay, so these are my top 10 again of useful items around the house. Now, I have talked to you before about my charge and how much I love these things. And I believe these are like $60 or $80. I think the one that I like, which is this one, is $80. And it gives you built-in charging connectors. You don't have to have a separate cord, is my point of saying that. And then you don't have to have anything separate to charge it. You just plug it in. The only problem I find with these, and I've had several of these and given these as gifts and mentioned them here before, they will actually pull out right down at the base, and that's just kind of strange. So when you spend $80 on something, you want it to last for a good long time. So I went looking for an alternative, and I think I have found something that might actually even be better, because this, I carried it. It is heavy. It is, clunky, but it was and I don't always remember what these things are called. Universal, I think, what I needed for my iPhone and iPad. So that was good. But then this one, I really didn't have much I needed it for. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the little kind that's, kind of moon-shaped on top and then flat on bottom. So it was just kind of a waste because it didn't really work for me. However, this is my new favorite. I believe it was $30-ish on Amazon. And it too has, multi-charging capability. It comes with the built-in plug. There are two things I like about it better. Three things I like about it better. One is that when I plug in my phone to this one, which it does have the built-in cable. This is the one I use for my phone. When I plug it in, I don't have to remember to push anything. It just automatically starts charging. Whereas with the My Charge, you had to remember to press the little battery button or else it wouldn't charge. And usually you figure that out, that you'd forgot to push that button, or you didn't push it hard enough or whatever after you've ran out of battery. So that would be one reason I prefer this one. The other reason is because once it is plugged in, because it's not as heavy and because it's more the shape of my phone, it's just easier to hold both of these items and keep doing whatever I need to do, rather than try to deal with this big clunky thing. Because the way this one is laid out, the My Charge, there was no good way to make the two marry up and still, because you would have to do this, which is, I have very small hands, so that's, a lot of, it's just harder. And I think that's why these cords always pulled out, was because often once you did get it married up, I would end up dropping it. The cord is just shorter and just harder to make it work. So that was number 2. And the third thing about this one that I really do like better, the shape is better, definitely to me, for my hand and for it being lighter. But it has 3 cords on it. Now this one is short, but it's not as short as the one on the My Charge. But it has the one it has these 2 that were on here, plus it has this one that is just like a long oval or rectangle. And I pretty much have found that when I travel, this takes care of most everything I travel with. So I travel with a lighted makeup mirror, and this will charge it. Charges my phone, my iPad, my husband's phone. The next favorite thing on my list, which is my USB lighter, it will charge it. I mean, it just charges everything. It's convenient. And I don't know about you, but when I'm charging my phone, even around my house, I'll use something like this as opposed to plugging in, because then I can still keep my phone with me, or if we're sitting watching TV, I can still have my phone with me. I'm not having to look for a place to plug in to a wall socket, other than when I go to charge this. And I can be charging my phone while it is plugged in and being charged. So you get a lot of options. Of course, the other reason I really do like this, I've given you way more than 3, I think, right now, but is that price point being less than half the amount of this one. So anyway, I will link this one below. The brand, I don't even know what it is. Intertech, I believe. Sorry about that. Intertech, and it is compatible with a Android phone micro port, an Android phone Type-C port, and then as well as the Lightning. I don't know if these are called Lightning, the one that I use on my Apple products, but anyway, it is just a dandy to have. And of course, instead of plugging, you can plug it in with a USB port, or there is another Android compatible micro port on the bottom as well. And then I already kind of gave away my secret here. I am loving and using a lot these USB lighters. I'd mentioned them as a Christmas present. I've been giving them to people for gifts. They're not very expensive, but they are very useful. And they do come with a little charging cord to charge them with. So they're great. You just turn on the switch on the base. It turns blue. Then you push this little thing on top and you get just a little bit of a arc that will start a flame. And if you have any type of arthritis or mobility issues in your hands and can't use the other kind of stick lighters, you know what I'm talking about, you would probably be able to use these. I cannot use those other kinds, and this is easy breezy for me. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is my Boroux water filter. This is not my Boroux water filter. This is my Boroux pure basilica glass canister. I keep 8 of these filled, and if my husband and I are going into lunch or dinner, we just grab a bottle and then we can pour our glasses straight from these. We keep one on our kitchen island for the same purpose. Not only has it saved on plastic usage and trash, but it also has made me drink more water because they're just convenient. They're everywhere around the house, and I don't feel like, sometimes I would probably keep myself from drinking bottled water just because it was going to be more trash in the trash bin. So the Boroux water filter, I'll put some pictures of it on so you can see what it looks like, but it's just a huge stainless steel canister. You can get smaller or bigger. You put tap water into it. It takes out all the harmful things that are in the tap water. And then the bottom part, the bottom chamber, has a spigot on it, and you can just fill up your glass, your water bottle, reusable water bottles, whatever it is you use around your house. And it's just so convenient. And the taste is really good. I don't taste weird flavors in the water. So even though I don't really care for water, I am doing much better because of my Berkey water filter. And I've used it for, you know, sometimes if your water's off, then you always have like a little store of water around to use for washing your hands or whatever, if you keep some bottles filled. And that's also the water that I put in my ironing, in my iron for ironing clothes, or my steamer. So it's just good, clean water with less, you know, stuff in it that's gonna build up around the house. So those are my top 10 useful items. But I wanna know what you would consider useful for you. I think all of us have different patterns in our home and different things that are important to us. And maybe something that you find very useful would also be useful to me, and I just haven't even thought of it yet. So please list that below so that I can read that as well. And if you're new here, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you back each Sunday when I post a new video on YouTube, and that's the boot check scraping along the countertop. So anyway, if you're not already a subscriber, I invite you to do that now. It's easy, just hit the subscribe button. I post a new video each Sunday. If you like this video, if you would give it a thumbs up. And I did want to mention, if you're new to YouTube in general, to be able to subscribe and like and do some of those things, you have to join YouTube. And when I first joined YouTube, I wasn't really sure, what are they doing? Are they gonna contact me? Am I gonna get more emails? And they didn't, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's not bad, I would say, to go ahead and register, but that will allow you to make comments, subscribe, and give a thumbs up. I will see you back next Sunday with another new video. Until then, have a good week. Bye, everybody.